According to insider reports, Meghan wanted to film at Buckingham Palace to further her princess narrative in the highly anticipated Netflix documentary of her and Harry. However, Charles refused to grant a long list of demands. Meghan wanted full access to work and living areas of the palace, normally strictly off-limits to the public. She also requested to film the family's private quarters, the Queen's offices and storage rooms filled with priceless royal artifacts. In addition, Meghan wanted permission to interview the King's staff and film them without their consent. Charles, aware of how invasive Netflix can be, refused to subject his loyal workers to such scrutiny without their permission. Things came to a head when Meghan directly asked Charles for a large sum of money, reportedly over $5 million, in exchange for providing exclusive royal content and insider access for her Netflix show. This was the last straw for King Charles. Sources say Charles was furious he saw Meghan's demands as a vulgar money grab that disrespected the monarchy and his mother's legacy. A palace insider revealed that Charles told Meghan in no uncertain terms that he would not be blackmailed or pay for royal access. That kind of transactional approach is simply not how things work at the firm. With the Sussexes' financial difficulties well documented, it appears that Meghan was trying to leverage her royal connections to boost the couple's bank account. But Charles reminded Meghan that even though she is married to Prince Harry, she is no longer a working royal and has no automatic rights to the palace or the royal estate. In a move few thought they would see, King Charles III expelled Meghan Markle and her Netflix film crew from the royal grounds and Buckingham Palace immediately. This spectacular confrontation has sent shockwaves through the palace and royal watchers around the world. The British public seems to be firmly on Charles' side on this. One poll showed that more than 80% believe the king made the right decision in rejecting Meghan's demands. People appreciated that he stood up for the integrity and traditions of the monarchy against the Sussexes' marketing efforts. One commentator said Charles showed that he is not a softie and will not be exploited by his son and daughter-in-law. The crown must always be above Hollywood attempts to cash in disguised as documentaries. Ordinary Britons also respected Charles for defending the palace staff from Meghan's attempts to film them without their consent. As one man said, those hardworking people don't deserve to be flashed in front of Netflix cameras without a voice. They were glad Charles protected them. Of course, Charles' ouster of Meghan has caused enormous tension with Prince Harry. While he remains loyal to his wife, Harry remains deeply attached to his father and is divided over where his loyalties really lie. According to sources, Charles and Harry had a huge shouting match after the palace send-off, with Harry furious that his father embarrassed Meghan in front of the world. But Charles remained unfazed, reminding Harry that, as king, he must put duty to the crown above all personal relationships. Their breakup has wider repercussions for the family. William fully supports his father's decision, deepening his estrangement from his younger brother. It is no secret that the rest of the firm blames Meghan for manipulating Harry and driving a wedge between him and his family. This new confrontation with Charles could push Harry even further into Meghan's camp, complicating any hope of a future reconciliation with his father and brother. Only time will tell if Harry can find a way to balance his marriage with his lifelong ties to the royal family. As some of you may know, Harry and his wife Meghan Markle moved to California in 2020 after relinquishing their royal duties in the UK. Since then, they have been involved in numerous legal battles in both the United States and the United Kingdom. Their ongoing fight against British tabloids for privacy violations has been protracted. However, they have also faced litigation in U.S. courts related to their security arrangements after moving there. Harry wants police protection for his family when they are in the United States, but the Department of Homeland Security has denied those requests. arguing that they are not entitled to taxpayer-funded security since they are no longer working members of the royals. This has led to an ongoing legal dispute between Harry and the U.S. government over the issue. As part of one such case, which was recently heard in federal court in California, Harry had to appear for a deposition with opposing counsel. During cross-examination, when asked about basic details such as the date of birth of his son Archie, Harry seemed strangely unable to provide the correct answer. According to sources present in the courtroom, the federal judge asked Harry a simple question: "What is the date of birth of your son Archie?" To which an irritated Harry replied, "How is that relevant to the case?" The judge patiently explained that they were just trying to verify some fundamental facts about the family before delving into substantive arguments. When pressed again to give the date, Harry seemed puzzled and unable to remember. He gave an incorrect date, referring to Archie being born a month before his actual birth date of May 6, 2019. The DAS's attorney immediately pointed this out, and a visibly irritated Harry responded, "You really expect me to remember the specific date after 3 years? I have more important things on my mind." This raised some eyebrows in the courtroom, as remembering your own child's birthday is considered pretty basic for any parent. Some onlookers commented that Harry seemed genuinely unable to remember the correct date, rather than simply being evasive. The judge reprimanded Harry, saying that basic details about his immediate family were quite relevant to understanding the nature and extent of the security concerns. A more angry Harry responded, "With all due respect, Your Honor, but having to fight for the safety of my wife and children in your courts is extremely stressful. I should not be cross-examined about minor discrepancies." However, the judge maintained that verifying fundamental facts was within his authority. Harry reportedly became increasingly agitated as the questioning continued. At one point, he interrupted cross-examination to demand a break, stating that he needed to make a personal call. The judge flatly refused, saying they were already behind schedule. It was then that Harry apparently lost his composure completely. He stood up and shouted at the judge, "Do you have any idea how it feels to try to protect my family thousands of miles from home with no help? My son's date of birth is irrelevant to my security concerns. I don't have time for your petty games. Either you answer my questions, or we're out of here." The courtroom erupted in murmurs and whispers. Two security officers immediately approached Harry, asking him to calm down. The judge banged his gavel loudly, warning Harry that any further disruption would be held in contempt of court. A red-faced Harry took a few moments to compose himself before continuing in a curt tone. However, the damage had already been done. Harry appeared to have jeopardized his own case with an emotional outburst in court. Legal experts say that losing control and yelling at the judge would have been frowned upon. It portrayed Harry as an irrational plaintiff rather than a dignified one genuinely seeking relief. In addition, the fact that he could not correctly state his own son's date of birth raised doubts about other factual assertions in his petition. It made Harry and his family appear less grounded in reality, calling into question the seriousness of the risks they were alleging. Defense counsel undoubtedly made the most of this troubling exchange during their subsequent rounds of arguments. The incident provided material for days of headlines and debate. Many felt that Harry had let the stresses of adjusting to a new country and ongoing legal battles overcome him in court. Some private moments from his past have also surfaced, where Harry had difficulty remembering details related to Archie's birth, such as the hospital where he was born. Don't forget to subscribe to our Secrets of the King channel and discuss this news in the comments.